Hey guys, welcome to this special edition of Whitetail Habitat Tours. First and foremost, I want to thank the property owners, Matt and Doug, for sharing their farm with us, and Jared at Habitat Podcast, and everyone else that helped put this tour together. It was a great tour. It was a great day. Had a lot of fun. Uh, Now for the depressing part. The audio sucks. Between the high winds and some microphone technical difficulties, I wasn't able to capture the audio the way I wanted to, and that's on me, guys. I apologize. But I feel like I captured the tour in a way that you guys can follow along and really feel like you were there that day. So without further ado, I give you Emmet's Acres.
We've had it 22 years, but I think most of what we're seeing today is in the last 8 or 9. And I think the single biggest thing we've done on this place is we have a road that goes right up the center of the property, and that's really because there's a lot of wet spots, and that's the only place you can get a tractor back. And we used to just walk right up the middle to go hunt it, and kick all the deer out, and then climb into our trees and wait for them to come back to our bait piles, right? So we've completely gone away from that. We don't touch the center road during hunting season. We've made a west access road or trail up the west side and an east trail up the east side. And if the wind's out of the east, we hunt the west side. If the wind's out of the west, we hunt the east side, and that's it. Like basically no exceptions. If you got a monster buck coming into a specific spot, we'll break the rules and try and go kill him. But you know, for the most part, we stick to that, and that has made, I think, easily the biggest thing we've done here is just simply that. So to start out with that, I think we are going to walk up the center, but I'll kind of point out like where the west access trail goes and how we access our stands off of that. I'd say the second biggest thing we've done is native grass, switchgrass. Like I said, it used to be a dairy farm, so it was wide open, and we're trying to just, you know, it's a good way to get cover quickly if you don't have trees. And the deer, I don't know what it is about it, they seem to love it. Like wherever I plant it, they hang out. Like that becomes a deer hotspot. So that's been huge. So yeah, I think we'll just start heading back and kind of show you kind of the layout. If you look at your maps, you know, we're gonna kind of go like clockwise around the property basically. Yeah, I think we'll just start heading back and check it out.
Yeah, anybody has any questions or talking
Yeah.
points, suggestions? Like, we want this to be a full group event. Bring it up. Maybe we'll learn something to be awesome.
Yeah, if anybody has a better, you know, what's just something, why the heck should you do that? Let me know.
Have you tried multiple varieties of switchgrass? Is there one that you really like that you feel like works?
So I started out with cave-in rock, because that's basically all that was available, and then the RC Big Rock has been, I've had great success with that, and RC Tecumseh. But I would say the Big Rock that stuff jumps out of the ground. It's almost like foolproof. I mean, if you do your prep right, I have not had one fail yet. If I do your prep right, that's the key. Switchgrass.
Are you using different pounds per acre to do different things in different areas?
I'm not, because I'm planting with a downburst seeder and I'm planting 5-foot wide strips of it.
Yeah.
I think if you were going to plant like a 10-acre field in solid switch with a drill, you would want to go on a lighter setting so it's not impenetrable. But the way we've done it here is more of a mosaic pattern, like we'll just make crazy patterns of switchgrass in an area, and I'll show you that, and allow open pockets in the middle for the deer to bed and hang out.
Yeah, 'cause I just heard that if you lighten up the planting, you can get them to bed in it versus
Right.
cover.
So I'm going 10 pounds an acre because I'm just doing,
Yeah.
I want a solid wall switch
Yeah.
where I'm putting it. I'm not putting it everywhere. I'm
Right.
leaving openings inside.
Yeah.
So
The bedding, like you're talking, more like 4 to 6 pounds
Yeah,
per acre.
yeah, lighter.
Yeah.
will
Let the
go
orbs
into-
come up through
yeah.
there too, you know. You can always go back and kill it off in places too to get that natural regrowth coming if it gets too thick.
Yeah.
Are you using fire to maintain it at all, or just?
I have not done anything.
A lot of people
we'll see that because I think our oldest stand is 5 or 6 years old, and there's an impressive amount of thatch on the ground, yet it keeps coming back like no problem. So yeah, you're supposed to burn it. You're supposed to mow it off or something.
If you want a monoculture switch, but yeah.
And you have trees in yours too.
And now that I've planted trees this spring all throughout those openings in between the switch, I'm never going to burn it at this point.
Sure. What type of soil are you dealing with?
So it's sandy loam, but we have a ton of clay here. Yeah, it's always a battle. Like it'll change drastically from one end of the field to the other.
You've noticed a difference on like growing switchgrass between your sandy versus clay?
I think it likes the sandy better. There are a few spots like in front of one of the blinds, like I cannot get switchgrass to grow. I don't know why. I have no idea. I don't think it's really a lot of clay there. I think it's still sandy, but it's so. But yeah, when we get back to the number 6 field on your map, the northwest corner of that field is real sandy, and the switch there is better than the switch on the southeast corner, which is more clay. So yeah, I think that does make a difference.
How many hunters are you out there at the same time?
Bow season is usually just my brother and I, 2 of us. Gun season we'll have probably 4 or 5 of us out there. So that's the challenge, is trying to get enough stands for that west wind. You know, how many stands do you have on the east side? Or if you have an east wind, vice versa. So, and we don't have a lot of trees to put stands in, so we've gotten a little bit creative with how we do that, which we'll see as well. But yeah, good to go.
All right.
I'm gonna probably, once it goes stop, I'm gonna probably hop on my bike and kind of like look up ahead, see what I need to happen. Get some filming and all that stuff.
You just don't want to walk. Why can't you just
There's a
do
reason
that?
I bought a bike from you.
Peter, not out there. You just don't want to walk.
With this breeze, the breeze saves it big.
rye in, and then I floss seeded clover. I don't know if we want to walk up there, but the clover's popping really nice right now. So I need to mow that rye off at this point. We've got, some apple trees around. I mentioned we used to bait like crazy, and now when the baiting ban happened, we basically just planted apple trees everywhere we used to put bait piles. So we've got a lot of apple trees spread across the property. That largest one that's inside the fence there is actually a crab apple. Those, I've been really impressed with the crabs. Like those things jump out. Like that's only a 2-year-old tree. Wow. It's already that big. Your more conventional apple trees, they're going to take time. And we have an orchard that's 20 years old. See what a 20-year-old apple tree looks like. It was probably 10 years, honestly, before
It's
we
stuck in the first station for now.
Trees are big enough for their apples, producing apples and breeds here.
Good point.
Good point. So definitely takes time, but probably also the best thing we've done on this farm as far as attracting deer is that apple orchard. So yeah, this basically we're screening off our access road here. So this is that center road, which we typically never use during hunting season. We've got an access trail that goes up the west line over there. I actually put this switch in here, block this road off for that Hail Mary. Our apple orchard, you can only hunt it with an east wind currently, and we typically only have west winds, so which kind of sucks. So we basically, the plan is to put a stand up where you can hunt that orchard with a west wind, and this would be your access. So I wanted to screen this off from here. So basically between the topography, the little bit of hill we got here, and this, when this gets 6 feet high, you can sneak right down this. Even with deer right there, they'll never know you're here. But yeah, that's basically, if you look at the map, I mean, so we're at number 2 right now. The way we've tried to set this up is circle of food all around the edges, and then bedding in the center, and then we hunt the perimeter for the most part. So yeah, right now we're in 2, and then we're kind of, we'll cut over to the orchard and then go up the west side, and kind of just make a big loop around. So.
Did you chemical spray this? And then just
that
burst, put it in?
Yep. So the switchgrass, what I found works really well. I mean, a lot of people say you got to start prepping in the fall. I don't really want to do that when I'm kind of hunting out here spraying and stuff. So I've been doing it just in the spring, and I'll do 2 sprayings of glyphosate, 2 to 3 weeks apart, and a spraying of simazine. And the simazine is the key. If I skip the simazine, it'll fail every time. If I do the simazine, I've had 100% success. So simazine is a pre-emergent. It keeps things from germinating, but it does not affect switchgrass if you follow the label and plant at the right rate.
Is that every year, or is that just when you first put it
just
down?
when you first put it in. I've not done anything to this since. Yeah. But yeah, that's key. Yeah, kill it with gly, wait for everything to sprout back up, kill it again, simazine down, and then the simazine takes, it needs rain for it to soak into the soil and work. So, you need to wait like just a week. So I typically do the simazine, wait a week, and then seed it. And I'm not killing it. Like, I would not kill, as far as I'm concerned, don't ever kill anything with switchgrass. Because all you're going to do is bring up weed seed. And the weeds are going to help keep you. And like I said, if I skip the simazine, or if I've done some spots in the show up here where I killed first, I had failure, or very marginal results.
So you just put the switchgrass right on top?
Just right on top
of the dirt?
Spread it, and then roll over to the pulp batter.
What would you do about like thick thatch? I've got cattle pasture, but I'm trying to.
I don't. That switchgrass seed is so tiny. It'll get through that. Like when I seeded up, you can see on number 1 up here, I couldn't even see the ground. It was solid, like that. And that seed will get through, especially when you roll it over that cultipacker. It's going to help you make sure it finds its way through. And then as soon as you get that first rain, off, push it down. So, yeah, I've had great success wanting to take care of the weeds. And that's, the root side is how you do it.
Usually grasses are your biggest
competition that you have to worry about.
Cool
Like,
season grasses.
yeah, cool season grasses are the worst thing you have to worry about with establishing switch. And you can hit it with 2,4-D if you didn't want the. I mean, I love the goldenrod and stuff you got coming up.
I'm not worried about
I
it,
love
no.
dirty switch.
What about smooth chrome?
I mean, that'll all.
Is that cool or what?
No, that's a cool season. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah. But you can manage, but like things like that, you can spray. That greens up before switch does. So you see all that coming up. You can hammer that with fly, you know, before your switch starts emerging.
Switch doesn't emerge until probably like mid-May.
Yeah. Huh?
Scalping it with the mower, then glide.
Yeah, but you want active growing grass to hit it. You want to hit active growing stuff. Yeah, the plant might be stressed out after you mow it, so you might want to wait a couple weeks before hitting it with glide.
See that regen.
Yeah, as it's starting to grow up. Otherwise, it might be too stressed out to uptake that stuff.
I probably should mention that. I do mow everything before I do all this. And like I said, I'd mow it, wait a few weeks.
Let it start popping back up on its own.
It.
And then anytime you spray it, like over 55 degrees in a growing condition, you know what I mean? You want plants actively growing before you spray it. This is great. Good stuff,
it's just
man.
a little tiny spot here, but
So you're not
gonna
drilling,
do the job.
You're not drilling the switchgrass, you're just putting it on top of the
putting it on top.
Downburst seeder.
That seed is so tiny that if you were to bury it just a little bit too deep, it'll never.
I think that's my problem.
Yeah.
Are you waiting for a soil temperature? Right temperature?
Yeah, I think.
70 for switch to emerge.
I mean, yes and no. Like you can frost seed it, so obviously you're not worried about temperature then. Trying to think, like this one I did probably about this time of year, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I did the same thing up north last year, Father's Day weekend, I think. My dad just did. I laid down the simazine and the glide. Just had some other grasses in there, and then we just downburst right on top, packed it in. Last year I got about 1.5 foot. This year it's already 2 foot, and it's only early June. So
yeah, this stuff.
if you have
shoots out of
questions,
the
reach out
ground
to him
in
on
August.
how to do it step by step, and that's what I did. Doug, what do I do?
So this will be 5 feet tall by July, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like August is when it really.
It really goes up. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely a warm season grass. It likes warm temps. So.
Now you can put that down your shirt. For me. In your shirt. Back to
Keep going.
It'll get. Is that the first snow you're saying? Heavy snow.
They close it.
Flat,
It'll spring back up.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Wild.
Heavy wind, it might sign it.
Absolutely. That's exactly what a lot of farmers did back in the day to dry certain grounds. So that they pasture them, run cows over them. That's exactly what they did, and that's why you see a lot of those grounds, swamper grounds that aren't pastured anymore with willows around them. The vast majority of those were planted back in the day.
Like I quit burning.
Yeah, my girlfriend's family over there, they got
So that resident.
And it's honestly amazing. It's like I've got like a 20-acre cattail swamp, tamarack cattail swamp that's got random, higher spots and stuff like that. So I've planted them 20 feet around it, 30 feet around it, and you can see the bedding now has moved from 6 or 8 foot, circle, whatever, out 10 or 12 feet. Now there's 4, 5, 6 of those bedding on where 2 or 3 used to be. It's just that little bit was enough that they have more grass to kind of, and sure, maybe some of it's them moving around a little bit, but if you're doing cuttings. If you're just doing stakes, which is the best way with low ground, you want to do it right before bud break. So, yeah, right before spring. So right before, right before main green up. So honestly, anytime after frost is out of the ground, you can do it. You just run the risk of, if you get a warm spell and it breaks buds, it will kill that stake because there's no root to push the rest of it out. Whereas other trees will make it through that. It doesn't have a root system yet to establish. So it's better to kind of push it to where you see the buds starting to swallow and put it in, because you just don't want that risk of frost, right? You got to relax down here. Yeah. The same with like red old dog. Same exact concept. I knew it was some crazy. I can't remember. I think Jared looked it up while we were there. But I just remember my grandpa always, telling me, this is way back in the day. Like, we planted all these willows to dry this patch, to run cattle through it, and they soak it. They soak a million gallons.
You guys want to get in the shade? So obviously this is the apple orchard. My dad planted these, like I said, about 20 plus years ago. And yeah, these produce an amazing amount of apples. There's times when you can't step in here without stepping on an apple. Like deer can't even keep up with eating them off the ground. There's so many. I don't know. I think it's definitely a little bit of work to do an orchard. We prune this every year in the wintertime, February, March time frame. And we prune pretty heavy. Like my brother Matt over here he's the master pruner, I'll say. If I do it, I don't cut enough. He comes in and
Still don't cut enough.
Still don't cut enough.
Look at it and it's like, yeah.
There's one sprout, missed it.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
Yeah, I don't know. There's piles of trimmings around here, but.
Yeah. Well, I don't know yet to be successful with it, but I'll try it. Still dialing it in.
So yeah, I would say certainly the biggest draw we have on this property is this orchard right here. You notice on the map it's right number 4, so it's pretty centrally located. It's on the west edge. We used to have a stand on that end, but we got busted a lot. Like deer they travel north and south through here, so we ended up putting up. Like I said, we got creative. There's no tree over there, so we got the Tower of Doom, we call it, and that works really well. So to access that blind, we have a trail that comes from our west access trail that goes up the west side. It basically just shoots straight into the bottom of that stand. And we actually have a 5-foot fence on both sides, so you've got basically a hallway, like a 6-foot open, width to walk through, and then we just spray that with glyphosate, keep everything out so you can sneak in there real quiet. And that, even though it's 5 feet high, it being that double fence, the deer don't want to jump it. They don't really like doing that. So I'm sure they would jump it if they had to, but most of the time they're going to hit that fence. So when we have an east wind, our wind's going that way, we don't want the deer going behind us. They're naturally going to be out here anyway, but so to keep them from going behind us, we fence that access trail, if that makes sense. It's like a barricade. And that works really well. The biggest buck I've ever killed in my life was out of that stand 2 years ago, and the buck came right down our road that we're going to walk up in a second. Came right down our road and 100% would have gone behind me and gotten my wind, but because of that barricade, he hugged right around these pines, and I shot him when he was standing right there, 10 yards. So he read the script. They rarely do, but that one did.
Did you have to spray these at all?
We have not. No, we have not sprayed them, I don't think, ever.
No.
How old are they?
They're about 20 years old. So when my dad planted this, we had a high fence, like a 10-foot fence, all the way around the whole thing. And I think it was a good 10 years before we took that fence down.
Do you know what varieties any of these are?
So I believe these are all
No, these are beautiful apples.
Matt, what are these again? Golden? No,
Mostly delicious red.
red delicious.
There's a Honey Crisp right here
That's a
behind
Honey
you.
Crisp.
There's a couple Macintosh, but most of these are delicious red. Yeah.
Okay.
So the delicious red we pick is it drops the late.
Yeah, this
We
will
also wanted some.
typically hold apples
It'll
almost
get
to
into
riple.
November. Yeah.
Sometimes into riple, depends on the year. It seems like.
It'll get into November here,
Yeah.
So if you didn't prune, you'd need to harvest it for the simple?
so. Yeah, I mean the flowers would just be knocking themselves off, when they're budded out. They'd be, all the branches rubbing, which I mean you can see there's still a lot of rubbing going on, but yeah, that's really what you're trying to keep. You're trying to keep that. If we were going to do this, if you're going to do this again, I would spread these trees out a little bit more than we even did. We can just barely get in here with the tractor to get around them and that, and it would help with keeping them off each other, yeah, and then just working around them. But.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
one.
I think these are 12, are
They're
they?
12, and
Yeah.
it's too close.
Yeah, I would go 15 or 16.
I would say,
yeah.
or 20.
And
You
don't
can see
worry
they're-
about the height so much?
They're overlapping at this
You don't
point.
top them at all? Don't worry about the height?
No, I mean, as far as because we mow in here, because you can see we got clover in here, so we do keep this, mowed, and it not staggering it actually makes it easy to get in here with the tractor and through or cut it.
Yeah.
And
And we've been
single rows.
so we've been kind of
Well, if you do
pruning
single row, you just make sure
to actually make them taller.
I'm just thinking like
Because when these trees were younger, we got a ton of pictures of deer standing on their hind legs, just picking apples off. So to me, like the higher the better, the longer they're gonna last. And then also that it makes it easier to mow in here, like you said. So
So the farmers who plant them for harvest,
they want them low.
they want them
so
low so they can
pick 'em.
harvest them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know if these are semi-dwarf or I guess I can't say for sure, but I think that's really all you could get because I'm pretty sure he just got these at like Home Depot or something.
Yeah.
I don't. And that's all they sell is the semi-dwarf. And that's why we really, we had these. I think you had mentioned it. We had these fenced in. It was like a 9 or 10-foot fence, and we really were, keeping the shoots going up and just pruning the sides to let them get tall. And you can see how old they are and where their branches are coming off. I would say it's definitely, for a 20-some-year-old tree, and it's 15 feet tall. I'd say it's something like that. Anyway.
Keep going.
How long will that tube stay?
I don't know. It's my first time doing tubes like that. Typically, like you saw in that first field we stopped at, we have like an 8-foot diameter fence. That's how we've always done them. We bought these from Morse, and this is the Morse survival. I don't know if I'll wait until they actually pop out of the top.
Yeah, these cats, I think you pay $10 a tree when you give them that horse. If something happens to them, they say if you protect them and do this. I also do a lot of cages like that.
got everything else
big
caged.
5-6 foot diameter.
I mean, we'll cage these for sure, because once they get big enough where you start producing a couple of apples, we'll have, you need to keep the bears off of it. The bear will just destroy the tree to get one little apple off of it. So, yeah, these will 100% get fenced as soon as they're a little bit bigger.
Are all these pines around here? Did you plant these, or are these?
No, I don't know if it was a Christmas tree plantation, possibly, or the owner. I don't know. So when my dad bought this, 20 years ago, these trees were all maybe 8 to 10 feet high. So they've grown a lot, and that's what I did some trimming, cut some trees, some of the pines out on that side to try and get some more early morning sun on these apple trees, because that's critical to dry them out so they don't get mold and that kind of thing.
So any of these younger pines are just natural?
Oh yeah, all the small pines you see are just natural regems. And you'll see out, we've been transplanting these things like crazy. Like, they transplant really nice actually. I think they're blue spruce, might be white spruce, I'm not sure. But and we've done, so we've got like 2 areas of these where somebody planted them years ago. And we've done, that's trying to create more habitat, more bedding area. Like we've gone through and cut all the lower limbs off of these, like right up to the trunk, you know, from about chest high down, just to allow the deer to be able to move through there and bed up next to the trunk of the tree. I've also like opened up little pockets inside of there to get some sunlight in. And everywhere, I mean, I don't know if you can see some green grass growing just beyond this tree. You know, that was an opening that I made, and now we've actually got, there's food in there for them to eat during the day. You know, there's beds in there. So I feel like that's made a, you know, pretty good difference, but
Is there beds in it?
it's hard to see beds in those.
Oh, that's
tiny. So I don't know. When you're
Yeah.
hunting here,
Yeah, when you're
and
hunting
the
here,
deer
they're-
pop out of the pines
yeah.
and come in, like, yeah, obviously
Yeah,
they were
they're
bedded
bedded
right there, right? But,
So what's your ground cover in here? All
so
natural?
this is all Durana clover, or actually this is Aberlasting
So you
clover.
planted all this in here?
Yeah. Yeah, I've had really good luck with Durana, white clover. Seems to go, at least on this ground, it works really well. You know, I've recently been trying the Aberlasting and so far it seems about good.
Now, will you spray this to clean it up, or you just mow it?
No. Yeah. I think, you know, this is relatively, I think this is maybe 2-year-old clover. When it gets 5 or 6 and it starts getting just overtaken with grass, like we'll do a clethodim, a couple of clethodim sprayings, try and like get another year or 2 out of it. But I would say every 5 or 6 years we'll plant some clover here. All right.
You gotta be patient with that, fluffing them to work.
Yeah, I'm not really sold on it.
You don't see it working very quick.
Not like Roundup, yeah.
Then I wonder, did it really do anything?
For twice as much on, eh?
Yeah.
I pay money for trees like these. We've got them coming out both sides.
Everybody come up and get a trailer full of them.
You're actually
Rates are doing it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so making does do the thing for you. Those spade buckets that they make, it's huge. Working better than one. Especially if you're taking one outside. Put them on the I felt that when we were walking from the truck over like oh yeah. See out here on the beach there by your house. Yeah, we are. Maybe you don't try to get fancy. Yeah. Yeah. Kill it. Try to roll it on there.
So right now we're at the number 6 on your map. So kind of right in the center of the property on the western side. This has always been our largest food plot. It's about a 2.5 acre opening here. And for years and years it was just one big 2.5 acre rectangle, just wide open. And you would get some does would come in maybe 30 minutes before dark, but you never saw bucks out here. And And so we wanted to change that, and that's where the switchgrass came in. So we changed it from one big rectangle to now it's kind of that sigma shape. When you're on your map, there's two different colors, and so one color is the perennial clover, and then the other color is an annual. So basically, almost all of our plots, we're splitting down the middle and doing typically clover on one half that we don't have to mess with every year. It's always there for the deer, and then the other half is an annual that, sometimes we'll do a spring planting. This year we did not. But always, a fall planting of an annual crop.
What do you plant for annual?
Rye is hard to beat. So vitalized carbon load is what we've been doing a lot of lately. And that you can see that's what carbon load last year. You can see some of that hairy vetch in there. But last year, you guys were all from around here, we had like no rain. So that planting did very poorly, and we ended up just laying down rye on it. I think we got like 200 pounds of rye on this, 200 pounds per acre. So that's what you're seeing obviously now, but it's a little bit of that, that first planting took. But yeah, we're doing, all no-till. I don't think any of these fields have been touched with a rotiller in probably 5 years. I think when we flip this, I think this year we're going to flip sides. Like that'll be the clover, and we'll make this the annual. I'm probably going to till it, to be honest, when we do that, just because it'd be nice to smooth this out a little bit better. It's a little bit rough, but yeah. So the switchgrass, like I said, it was a north-south running rectangle. So we filled in that northwest corner with switch. You can see last year's switch still standing. And that's kind of where that mosaic, there's kind of just strips of switchgrass in a random pattern through there. I planted a bunch of shrubs the year we did the switch. The switch is like 5 years old, and a lot of them didn't make it. I think there's one there, one or two still kicking. I've got Norway spruce around the perimeter, like the outside edge, to try and just define that better. And then this spring, all the tree tubes, we planted hybrid popples, just to try and get something quick, some shade basically. Like obviously deer are not going to want to hang out in there on a day like today. Even if the grass was tall, it'd be too hot. So trying to get a little bit of shade on that. And then we've got the same thing on the southeast corner. You can't really see it from here through the rye, but that one we didn't do any tall trees because sit in that blind across there, so I didn't want to block that. But yeah, now that we've done the switch, I don't know what it is. Like, it doesn't really look like much, right? But the deer feel totally comfortable in this field now. We'll have shooter bucks walking right down the middle of this 2 hours before dark. It's made a huge, huge difference in like how comfortable the deer feel out here. When I look at it, it doesn't really add up, but it's just the way it works. They just something about that switchgrass, they really like it. The center road that we were on, that we kind of cut off, it used to continue right up and come into this field over here. We've abandoned that road again because we don't want to be using it, and so that's all planted in switchgrass as well. And that was actually, I think, the first switchgrass planting we did here. The deer, it's become like a super highway. Like they like to go right along the edge of that switch, travel north and south. Work straight from that stand. See them on the side of it.
Do you have any limitations with the power lines going through here?
Yeah. So the power line, it comes onto our property on the southeast corner and it leaves on the northwest corner.
Oh.
So it cuts right in half, right on an angle. And it's a 100-foot easement, so 50 feet each side of the poles. We really can't. We can plant whatever we want, but they have the right to maintain that. So they're going to mow. If any trees start growing, they're going to cut them down. So I can't plant trees. I can't put a tower blind or anything like that. No structures within that zone. So we have been doing a lot of switchgrass along that power line, and where you guys parked is the power company's gate, basically. So I put a sign up there like native grass is planted on power line. Please don't, no spray zone. You know, please don't kill my grass. And so far that's been working. I put my phone number on there, so somebody, a crew gets here and they're like, what the heck? They can call me, but no one's called me, and they have not sprayed my switch. It's been about 5 years, so.
How do the deer react to that when they cross that area? They move swiftly, or are they just comfortable when they cross it?
The deer?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, like typically they'll walk, I mean, almost right down the center of this thing.
Yeah. They use it like a highway that with that switch in there. It's like they feel comfortable because they're
I feel like
up against it.
You know, I think it's 40 yards across.
Yeah.
It's like 20 yards of clover, 20 yards of annual. And I think that's an important number. Like, I think they feel like they can just take like 3 bounds and be into that switchgrass either way, you know. I think that's what it is.
Any other questions here?
Have you ever had the power company come in here like during deer season to maintain it?
Yeah. So what was it? 5
So you
years
see these
ago?
shiny new poles.
Yeah.
They used to be wooden.
They were all wooden poles, and they came in and put a road basically through the pylons on through the pond.
There was an oak timber highway from that.
We're out here in rifle season, and there's trucks driving down this thing.
Yeah. But they're like, don't worry, we all hunt, so we won't be here on opening day.
Yeah.
The day before and the day after.
Yeah, the day after though, they were. We did well.
I think we shot.
Yeah,
we all
took a
shot
couple.
bucks that year.
Yeah.
Moved the deer around.
But outside of that, they really don't. Maybe once a year that we'll see on the cameras. They'll have like a side-by-side machine that they got that'll cruise through just to make sure there's nothing, you know.
I think their biggest thing is they don't want trees growing
Right.
up under it.
Yeah.
You know?
But they don't seem to care what time of year they do that.
Oh, they'll do it in the summer. Yeah, they really aren't doing
I've
it
had,
in the
I've
the
had it
fall.
down
man.
by me like during the rock.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, we haven't had that. Just when they put the poles
Well,
in
when they
that
put
year,
poles in.
they were working right through the season, you know.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we have not. In the summertime is usually when they're cruising through.
What are you guys shooting for bucks as far as score? You just play well
Typical
Like
Michigan.
40s, 50s.
Yeah.
40s, 50s, not 150.
See a lot
So the
better
biggest
bucks.
one I ever got 2 years ago was like a 130s, and then last year's was like a
See a
120s.
lot better bucks than you've done with.
I gotta believe so.
Absolutely.
You know, the APRs have been here a long time now, right?
Yeah.
10 or 12 years. And there was after they did the APR, there was a definite like overnight change. Like, holy crap, we used to be real happy shooting little 6-pointers, and then after the APRs, we're like, I'm not gonna shoot anything unless it's an 8, you know. And now I think it got really good for a few years, then it kind of like petered out. And we're like, what's going on? And then I would say the last 5 years, 5, 6 years, it's been just going up. And I would like to think it's because of all the stuff we're doing here.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know. But
That's how you like that for sure.
yeah.
Do you guys run a lot of cameras at all, or you just kind of let it happen?
Yeah, we've got, careful where you take a leak, you're probably on camera. There's a lot of cell cams out here. 20 some cams across the property, yeah.
What are you setting them up on typically? You setting them up on field edges?
I mean, yeah, there's one right there.
in front of the
Typically
barn.
on the fields. I mean, we just kind of want to get an inventory, keep track of what we've got. Kind of judge, like, I mean, 3 years ago, during that early antlerless season, we took like 5 does out of here because I've got one cell cam pick from a little tiny field over there that had 23 deer in it. In an area about the size of where we're standing at this group, 23 deer. It's like, all right, we need to shoot some does. So now last year, I would say the population is much lower. Like we didn't really feel, we didn't harvest any does last year since we weren't seeing as many. So
Is there much outside ag fields or anything around? Or
no, I think the nearest ag's about a mile. It's about a mile away. Some corn.
Yeah, there's the feed corn.
Yeah,
Other side of 11 Mile Road.
West.
Yeah.
Mile and a half. I don't know.
everybody's a lot of the same.
Yeah, I don't know if any of our neighbors are here, but I think we're the only ones doing food plots, except maybe Mark to the north.
With you guys knowing, being hunting here so long, do you guys have an idea of where the bedding's at?
Yeah, well, yes and no. Like, we're trying to get the deer to bed in the center, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the food's around the perimeter. We're trying to stay out of the center as far as during hunting season. And that's starting to work. I think I've got more switchgrass planted over there to facilitate that, but before that, I would say most of our deer were coming from somebody else's place, right? Like, we're hunting the perimeter, and all of our deer are coming into our property from somewhere else in the evening, leaving in the, yeah, and going that way in the morning, right?
The buck you shot at the apple orchard, do you think it came from the center?
Yeah, he was bedded 100%. So that first field that we stopped at with the switch planting, and then the orchard, between those two, there's that little patch of timber there. He was living in there. And that's where he was headed when I saw him. And that's where he died. Right, probably in his bed. So.
Over there, on that stone. Kill most of them. Turkeys. They roost up in the timber up over there.
Any other questions? Keep moving. Right. You want?
Do much edge feathering out in this area, or is it all kind of
I think we're going to 8. We're 100 yards in on the property. Huh? I think we're like 100 yards in, that's it. Yeah, the swamp right down there. That little pond, lake, whatever down there. Walking right down the
So we talked about the access being the single biggest thing. I mean, literally, we used to just walk right up this road. We just walked up, pulling all the deer out of these fields, and then sit down and try and hunt. So now that west trail, it actually pops out. It basically hugs with some beaver ponds over there, follows right along the edge of those beaver ponds, and then pops straight up right here. And you know, we've got the rifle stand, so you can basically just, you're down a hill, like the deer have no idea you're down there. Pop up here, sneak into there, and it works beautifully. Even when we have deer out in that field, like I have planted a little bit of switch along here, trying to screen this a bit for a sneaking pass there, but yeah, works pretty good. No, it's actually just
it's water there? Okay. So where are you shooting?
It's mainly set up to actually shoot back that way.
Okay.
And then across the pond into the timber. Our other second largest spot is just right over there.
Yeah.
They're just skirting that pond.
The deer are right around the pond.
So are they? Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a big opening, you don't know what to do with it. Get thick.
Yeah. If I'm about to sit, there's a couple of these stands. How did we shoot that?
That's my deer up the edge of it. I'll talk about that later. It's the fact that I can't see tree stands. How many acres is it? That's a big difference.
Yeah. Doug's selected his market.
It's not for you if you drop it. You drop them and you drop out of this.
Maybe you found the lucky card with the winner of the thing.
Yeah. You win your own down.
I have no idea.
Down there.
This isn't easy for them.
Yeah, good point.
Well, I don't know if the deer pay any attention to it. I don't know. If I do it, it's mixed with forward, so, you know. So yeah, this is probably our original kill plot. Call that the killing tree. You can see the top blew out many years ago, and there's now a little crow's nest about 20 feet up. So the perfect horizontal limb to sit on, and no one has ever been busted in that tree. The deer just don't have any idea you're up there. I think the way this ridge lays, it almost any wind you can get away with as well. It's kind of crazy. Yep. So yeah, we used to, again, used to be a bait pile here. When that went away, we went to apple trees. So again, I think that's a 2-year-old crab apple. So really impressed with how those grow. These are the conventional, like, orchard type apple trees, and you can see the difference. I think this one we were going to move it anyway, but I don't know. It's not doing too well. That one we need to do a better job pruning around it, obviously. But it seems to be growing. So I think Jared, you had some ideas on how to make this spot better.
Yeah. Yeah, this spot's pretty cool back here, especially that killing tree. But I offered Doug, I said, what about edge feathering this place, Take some of these cherries and stuff and drop them away, let some more sunlight in. There's sunlight, but you can get more from the south side all day, more of the day. Just start expanding. Then it gives you side cover too. if that buck wants to get in here, he doesn't have to step from brush to wide open. He can work his way in. Maybe, might be a difference maker 10 minutes in the evening, right? And that buck comes out. So what I would do is drop some of these trees, follow some of these trees away from the plot, create more structure around it, get more sunlight in here.
And also that way you can kind of direct them where
you can
want
make
them.
barricades, make openings. Yep, exactly. Put barricades by your stand for your access, and then have a big opening about, I don't know, 25 yards maybe.
Yeah, I think this would be a prime place, and even, you know, to make more bedding up here on the edge of the property. Our north property line is only 50, 60 yards that way. Kind of, on your map, I think we're at number 8, the direction of the northwest corner.
You access this through the same way you actually come up
Yeah,
around the pond and up the trail.
where it kind of came up to that box line, there's a little trail right through here that comes right to the base of that.
In the woods straight through.
But yeah, I would say our daytime deer activity has skyrocketed since we stopped pulling them out every day. It made such a big difference.
Yeah, like
Sounds obvious now.
Well, like here in Michigan, like I don't walk on any food plot trails, anything planted, anywhere there's food, I will not step foot on. And you alleviated that with your access.
Yeah.
And now you have more movement.
That's the biggest thing we do.
So you just walk that trail on every time, walk it out.
Yeah.
A lot of guys probably do that.
So you know, like when they run away, they're gonna come back.
Even if you plant like just yard grass
I would,
on your trails.
yeah, you could do, I would walk down that, but like a main trail like this where they're expecting you to come down for years, for 20 years, yeah, then I'd pop up the back like they're doing. But yeah, I don't put food in any of my access trails.
A hot tip on an access trail: if you have a rototiller, do one pass on your access trail with that rototiller, and it's like silent. Like even when there's a frosty morning and everything's crunchy, I don't know what it is. That freshly rototilled ground is dead quiet. Like I just did that accidentally one year.
That's a hot take.
And it was like that whole fall, we're like, holy crap, like this trail, you can't hear anybody walking on there now.
When do you notice the deer hit your crab apples?
This tree is yet to produce any crab apples that I'm aware of, so.
There's some on there now, right?
All right, this will be the first year.
Yeah. Is it more later in the season?
I don't, so this is we've got 5 or 6 of these around, and it's our first time planting, so I don't really know. Like I said, this will be the first year that it's producing, so that's cool to see.
When you bringing these in?
So this is Morse, I think it's called baked crab or something. I don't know if they still have it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You bringing these in here mainly for food or more like a pollinator?
Mainly the food. I mean, we've always had the bait pile mentality. Like, you know, it's all the pines and stands are on the food plot. Not the first, you know, it's I think if you hunt it right, you can do that.
This is more of a kill plot too, not a big death.
Yeah, right. Like this is not pulling deer.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, again, like
But they didn't keep moving.
a lot of our deer would come right off the trail rather than north. So there's a giant pine plantation out there that I think they bed in. But I'll tell you, the last few years, this spot has not been as good as it was in the past. And I'm starting to wonder if it's because we're actually holding deer over here now. Not 4 years.
You build
But it's still a good spot.
Yeah.
Especially when these start producing. I think it'll be
That's awesome looking tree, man. That's only 2 years old. That's insane.
How tall was it when you planted?
Wow.
little sapling. Very nice sapling. Yeah, I'm really impressed with how fast it's growing.
Fertilizer or anything? Here is decent.
Yeah,
most of our stuff is not.
So yeah, you're really I got enough other apples to go on Now, you know, there's another spot where you can see like the 2-year-old tree looks the same as the day I planted it. 10 a bunch and hope you get a percentage of them. You know, yeah, when we leave here, we'll cruise by, like, there's 3 apples over here that we planted. It was the year they banned the baiting. We're like, we gotta plant apples. And we went out and bought the biggest trees we could find. They were, I think, 3-inch caliper trees. They were like $120 a tree. Big root ball. It was frickin' work. And I don't know that we gained anything by doing that. I think they had such a shock from being planted. It was also the wettest spring we've ever had, and I'm like, I had my nephew bailing water out of the hole with a bucket so we could put the tree in. So I think that hurt them, but I don't know, like these ones over here are 7 years old. We did that 7 years ago. And I don't think they're any bigger than this guy. Maybe they're a little bit bigger, but not much. No, yeah, we didn't do that. We need to do a little work back here. Alright. Keep going. Show you those trees real quick.